So glad to chat with my next guest. It is the UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski, who's finally going to be fighting Brian Ortega on September 25th at UFC 266. Alex, how's it going, man?
I'm going good, mate. I'm going good. Just busting my ass, training hard, and doing what I need to do to make sure that belt stays here with me in Australia. So we're getting that working.
Great to hear. We'll get into the fight in a sec, but first, just your thoughts on getting to coach The Ultimate Fighter. I spoke to Dan Hooker. He says he has no interest in doing The Ultimate Fighter as a coach, but it seemed like you had a good time with the fighters. How was the whole experience for you?
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was a cool experience. And man, it's history, right? Yeah, it's something that I grew up watching, always been a fan of. So much history there, you know what I mean? And to be a part of it was just an honor. And, even the whole coaching side of things and that I enjoyed it, because with me, I'm the type of guy, like if I'm going to have a coaching role or something, I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to do it properly. And you know what I mean? So with whatever I do. So that's how I was. And I'm the type of guy that, I'm a pretty friendly bloke. So I was pretty, I got pretty close with the boys and, I cared about them. So that's just who I am. So I've got some friendships that'll last forever and memories that'll last forever. So I really enjoyed it.
Were there any regrets at all doing the show? Like in terms of things you did, in terms of coaching, was there anything looking back you felt like you would have liked to done differently? Or were you like, hey, I'm happy with how things went?
Man, I'm sweet. It's all good. Yeah, I'm happy with how everything went. Obviously, it was a slow start, but we turned that around, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I'm very happy with how things were and, what we did and how we got along with the boys, even just, obviously there's so much that you don't get to see. But, I just felt like we did our best, not only to give the boys the knowledge and help them in camp and things like that. But, we try to make sure that we gave them a bit of fun, a bit of a laugh, got them out of the house and, did a couple of, went above and beyond just to help the boys out. Just even though, this stuff might not make the cut, but I mean, these poor blokes are stuck in the house with each other. Let's do what we can to get them out. So, at least once or twice a week, try and get them out of the house or do something or go to the house with them. Just to, every weight cut, I made sure I was there and just there to support the boys because I could only imagine what it would have been like for them. So I had nothing but time while I was over there, you know what I mean? So I'm used to being home, helping the family, my kids and all that. So I was over there in Vegas. I was like, well, I can't do that. Maybe I can try and help the boys as much as I can. Because again, I committed to the job and that was my role while I was on the Ultimate Fighter. So I wanted to do the best I could as a coach, and not just that, even a friend for the boys,
How difficult was it doing the show with Ortega as the other coach? Because we know at a certain point things did start to get annoying with showing up late and things of that nature. How difficult was that part of it?
Well, look, it wasn't that difficult. Obviously, I'm gonna try and stick a wedge between Team Ortega and his boys and things like that. Just be like, he's running late and things like that. Especially 0-4. So I was like, oh man, this ain't going well. And I knew that he was rocking up. I already heard the whispers that he was late. He didn't turn up at some sessions or session because that was only 1 week. So I was only, when it was 0-4, that was only 1 week with the boys. And I already got told that, he was late, didn't turn up sometimes. And then he started gloating. So that's why I was like, mate, don't give me that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I know for a fact you weren't there. And let's be real. We 1 week with the boys. Don't claim their glory. You know what I mean? But anyway, in saying that, it is what it is. Obviously, being 0-4, you're going to take that. No, I wouldn't say personal, but you're going to, especially that competitiveness in you. Even though there's not much I could have done, I still was like, damn, this sucks. I want to get these boys some wins. Well, not only me being competitive, I want some wins for myself, but I feel bad for the boys. These are kids that I'm getting along with, and their dreams are being crushed. I don't want no more of my boys' dreams getting crushed. You know what I mean? That's sort of how it was. So let's do what we need to do. But just got stuck into it, did what we thought was best, and it obviously started paying off.
I've watched pretty much all of the stuff, leading up to the fight. You guys have had a number of interviews together on ESPN and things like that. And you can tell it seems like it's getting a bit personal. Have you ever had an opponent like that in the past that reminds you of Ortega in terms of someone who might get under your skin a little bit?
Not really. See that. I've never have, I wouldn't say that. But I mean, to say getting under my skin, no. Will it get a reaction out of me at the time? Yeah, it will. But as soon as I get off my phone, off the interview, I'm daddy, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
that's
should
the
have phrased
type
that
of
better.
guy I
And
am.
I know it's not. I know it's not like
I get,
impacting you,
I
but
know what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, in saying that, like, obviously, you're going to try and stir each other up. And again, there was no bad blood at the start. There really wasn't. There was nothing but respect. And I guess he is usually really respectful with his guys, and so am I. But I mean, we've never had to share so much time with someone. We never had to compete, have teams against each other, and all this type of stuff. Even though, like, let's have a bit of fun with this, stir each other up. We've never been in a situation where that you do that, even though it's going to be all fun. People are going to start to say things that's going to be like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? So that's sort of how it was. At the start, it was going to be playful, but then just little comments, you just be like going, like, who's this guy I think he is? You know what I mean? So then it just sort of, again, do I think he's a worse human being? No, I don't think he's a terrible human being, but do I think he's a little sensitive and a bit douchey sometimes? Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's, you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I've never been involved with an opponent that much coming into a fight. So obviously it is a little bit different, but in preparation, I'm not even thinking of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm sitting there like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're focused on Brian Ortega, the fighter, not everything else outside
exactly
of that, right?
Right. So
that's what a lot of that is.
Yeah, I guess I'm always good like that. I've always been that sort of way. Even if things aren't going well because of something, I can zone out. Very good at doing that. Even like the same with nerves. People ask, do I get nervous? I don't. I can just focus on what I'm doing. That's just the type of guy I am.
You had COVID earlier this year, and that's why this fight was delayed, and then they ended up putting you guys as coaches on The Ultimate Fighter. How were the symptoms for you? Because I know it affects everyone differently. Like, how long were you out of the gym for?
Yeah, it got me pretty good. So I was obviously meant to fight, and then got the COVID, and then we had to quarantine, ourselves at a hotel, and then you started getting the normal symptoms, headaches, then the real, like, the fevers and all that. Again, that could be normal symptoms, and so that sucked. It was like 2-3 days where you're just pretty much bedridden, it was obviously you could feel it in your chest and lungs and things like that. Fatigue, try and go for a little walk because we're allowed to walk outside the hotel. But even just that body aches and all that. But then the breathing started getting, more and more difficult, and coughing up blood and things like that. It started happening. That's when we were like, we better get some checkups here. So, because again, I'm a professional athlete. The last thing I want to do is just treat it as if, it's all right, it's nothing, and then not check up on it. And then next minute I've got scar tissue in my lungs and all this, and it's going to affect my whole career. And this is, especially when I started coughing up blood and things like that, this could definitely affect my lungs. This can be pretty serious. Yeah, will I pull out of this all right? Yeah, but could it affect my career? Yes, it definitely could. You've seen a few fighters where it has, especially when it attacks the lungs like that. So I didn't want to take any risks. So we went and got checked up, and sure enough, obviously we got the pneumonia, and it was getting worse and worse. So we done 2 checkups, and it was getting worse. So I had to get on the stronger medication to help get rid of that. But I mean, getting back into training, it was, I had to take, obviously the next couple of weeks I didn't do anything. But then when I started, it was like 50% for a week or two, and then dead 60, and I had to slowly bring it up. So it was about 6 weeks before I was training reasonably hard, if that makes sense.
No, it has. So, and nothing after that, because I've heard some fighters, it's a couple months before their lungs are back to normal.
Yeah, I just mean before I could train, obviously not training that much and not being able to train as hard as you can, it's gonna take a while to get there. But I mean, there was times where I went on the assault bike and did a couple of things, and I didn't feel too bad. Like, I felt it once when I first got into Australia. Because of the weather change. It was freezing in Australia. I got to Australia, and then I went on the assault bike outside on the veranda. So it was really cold air, breathing in. I just come back from Vegas as well. It was hot. And I started breathing in. Mate, it attacked me. I was struggling. I was like, oh, shit, what is this? Is this the weather, or is this the lungs from COVID? I started panicking a little bit. But then I end up, but again, I just moved the bike inside, and then I didn't have any dramas. So, that I wasn't freaking out anymore. But I'll be honest, I was a little nervous at one stage. But now, obviously, I'm absolutely smashing training and some of the sessions we're doing. If I had any problems with my lungs, I should know by now from what I'm putting my body under. So all good.
And just last thing on COVID, because this is something that came out recently. I'm hearing there's some issues with city kickboxing and it being shut down. And is there any worry about, the COVID restrictions with your fight coming up? We still have a few weeks, but is that something that's crossed your mind at all?
Well, we're in lockdown. So we are in a deep lockdown right now. We've been in a lockdown, I don't even know, it's been like 6 weeks or maybe even more. So it's obviously been pretty tough, but we're lucky enough where we're able to have the bubble to train, which it was difficult. It was difficult to get. Last time we did it for my first defense against Max. That was probably easier to get the exemption to train with. This time was a little bit more difficult, which we were starting to worry. We're like, man, I might have to go to Queensland. I might have to go to America, do my camp there. But we ended up getting it done. So I was able to bring the boys, and we're just in our own bubble, doing our own sort of camp. But, obviously we're not allowed to mingle, and we've got to be pretty much home and training. But, I need to recover from the sessions anyway. So as long as I'm with my family and busting my ass in the gym, that's all I need to be doing right now.
Gotcha. So by the sounds of it, no training camp in New Zealand. It's all been in Australia, right? You've been doing everything at home?
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Okay, because when I heard the city kickboxing thing, I was like, oh no, not again, right? Because we're hearing some stuff with obviously the restrictions. So sorry. I haven't been able to go there for the last two camps. So I wasn't allowed there for Max fight, and for my last fight with Ortega that was meant to happen, I couldn't go there either because we didn't have the bubble with New Zealand. So, and that's obviously the same right now because even now it's a little more difficult. Who have you been working with then? You mentioned bringing people in. Who have been some of your training partners for this camp?
Yeah, so we got UFC fighters like Joshua Cooler, Jamie, good to move with too. So Blake O'Donnelly, Trent Girdham. I've got my training partner Colby, one of my main training partners, Justin Van Heerden, a couple of guys from the local local Soreen. But yeah, so we've definitely got some good bodies to move around when it's been good. Pearson as well, Ross Pearson's here with us as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we've got good bodies, and then we're obviously bringing in boxers and things like that as well. So we've been getting plenty of bodies in, which is good.
I imagine the weight cut's going well. You've had a lot of time for this fight. I imagine everything's on track.
Yeah, everything's always. I'm a professional, mate.
You always make weight. Yeah, I know. I just have to ask anyway.
So I'm just doing. I'm probably eating more than I'm looking at the meals that I'm eating right now. Looking at my nutritionist, like we could probably cut this down if you want. He's like, no, we're on track. Don't worry about it. I'm like, all right. So I'm just having shitloads of carbs and proteins right now. But obviously, as you get closer, that's going to start dying down a little bit. But I'm feeling good right now, ready to roll.
Will Eugene Bareman be in your corner for this fight? Who's going to be in the cage with you?
Yeah, Eugene will be there. We're going to have, obviously, Joe Lopez, head coach Joe Lopez, Frank Hickman. Eugene will be there. And we're going to see if we could get Craig Jones, but he won't be able to be there. Mm-hmm. But we don't know who the other coach will be just yet because we've got to see who's coming for Dan Hooker because Dan Hooker's fighting on my card as well. That's right. So we'll have, so I'm obviously allowed 4 coaches. So we've got the 3 for now. And we'll just see who the last one is who can make it because obviously they're having a lot of troubles with people coming to in and out of New Zealand. So it's not just as easy as you get an exemption. They need to get vouchers so they can get back in the country. And sometimes the voucher they won't. They have to wait 2 months before they're even allowed back in their own country. So it's difficult. So they're probably waiting on a voucher to pop up so the boys can come back home.
How's this fight playing out on September 25th?
How's it playing out, man? Like everyone knows my style. I got too much pressure, and obviously he's durable, so I'm expecting him to take some damage early. I expect it to be a bit of a war early, but I feel like I'm just going to be too much and wear him down. I'm feeling third round. The thing is, you're going to say that every time, right? You're going to say, yeah, get the finish. But I mean, these guys are durable, so you can't just look for big knockouts, but there's one thing that I can do and that's I can pressure cook them. You know what I mean? I can really put that pressure on, cook them like that way, and they got no choice but to look for a way out. You know what I mean? So obviously, you got guys like Max Holloway and Ortega, and guys that have fought that are just durable and fit. So they were tough to finish, but I really want this finish this time. Obviously that's what we're always looking for. But I feel like, hey, if it goes 5-round war, I'm ready. I'm going to always be ready. But I feel like the third round I'm going to have him done and dusted by then, and I'm gonna see the finish. Whether it's on ground and pound, whether it's even a submission because he's that tired, you know what I mean, or just a TKO, ref stoppage or something like that. Because I know he's got a chin. He's definitely got a good chin, but when your body can't hold up, mate, you're gonna be looking for a way out, and that's what I feel.
We got a big featherweight fight coming up this weekend at the time we're recording. Edson Barbosa, Giga Chikadze. Just your thoughts on that fight and who you see potentially winning that.
Mate, both are high-level, kickboxers, strikers. So I'm looking forward to that one. I feel like if Giga can, fight the right fight, he can get it done. Obviously, Barbosa's dangerous. You know what I mean? You give him time to set up strikes, to set up not even combos, but if you just stand in front of him and let him do his thing, he's one of the craziest fighters you want to be in front of. You know what I mean? But the thing is, you just can't let him do his thing. You need to lead the dance. And I think if Giga can do that, he can take the win. If not, if he's going to sit there and just try and stand in front and kick with him, I can see a highlight reel finish as well from both sides. So I'm looking forward to see. I think it's going to be an exciting fight, but I feel like Giga isn't going to just rely on looking for a big shot. I think he's going to have some good strategy to nullify a lot of what Barbosa does, and get the win that way.
And then the other fight, Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. Just your thoughts on that fight. Do you think Woodley can pull this one off?
Man, you'd think so. Obviously, this is a big step up for Jake Paul. Jake Paul can box. You got to give him credit. He can box, but at the same time, do I think he's going to knock out Tyron Woodley? I don't think so. And Tyron Woodley's a dangerous guy. You know what I mean? And if he's fit, if Tyron Woodley's fit, I think, and it goes in the later rounds, Tyron can definitely get the finish later in them rounds. So, man, I'm going to have to go with Tyron Woodley. I don't know how he's training, but surely he's, thinking, fuck, I can't let this guy beat me. I'm going to be busting my ass, you know what I mean? So, oh, shit, sorry, mate.
No, all good.
But, yeah, I feel like Tyron Woodley would get it done.
Okay.
But we'll see, man. We'll see. But, again, a lot of people just think, Jake's got no chance. But, I mean, he's obviously knows how to throw him, but this is a whole different ball game. I think, even from Ben Askren to Tyron Woodley in a boxing match is a whole different level. You know what I mean? So, again, we'll see what happens, but I feel like Tyron Woodley will get the job done.
Have you been told the winner of Max Holloway and Yair Rodriguez will fight the winner of your fight? Is that something that's been mentioned?
I haven't heard that, but I would say that's exactly what it would be. So that's what I'm expecting. But I mean, I haven't heard nothing. Obviously, the UFC haven't mentioned nothing like that to me, and I've obviously got a fight to worry about. But I'm sure that would be what's on the cards. To be honest, I thought the Max fight was on the cards anyway. You know what I mean? I was surprised that he's doing this fight. Obviously, didn't want to wait around. So good on him for that. You've got to give him props for that. Credit where credit is due. He didn't want to wait around. He wanted to stay active. And again, I've got nothing but respect for someone that's going to go out and do that, especially when, he probably knew that he would have got the shot if he just waited it out. So good on him. But, I think that fight's in his favour anyway. So it's looking like we'll probably be dancing again. But obviously I've got a job to do. I've got Ortega to take out, and I'm going to do that very soon. And then we'll be tuning into that fight, and we'll see what happens.
And if that trilogy fight was to take place, again, not looking past Ortega, I'm the one who's asking you this. There's always fans who are like, you're overlooking your opponent, so I want to be clear about that. But how would a trilogy fight go between the two of you this third time around?
Mate, when people say overlooking fighters because you're looking forward, that's just stupid.
I know, it's so dumb. That's why I have to preface it, because I know someone's going to say that.
Exactly, yeah, I know. A lot of people are going, he's looking through Ortega. No, we never do, mate. I was... Even back then, when I was first in the UFC, I was looking at the champions, and I'm like, you know what I mean? They were in my sentences. I was saying, I'm going to rise through these ranks. I'm taking on the champ. You know what I mean? So that's all shit. But I mean, with Max, where do I think it's going to take place? Did you say?
Yeah, no. I said, how do you see a third fight between the two of you going? Like, how would it play out?
How would it play out?
Yeah.
Put it this way. The last fight that we did on Fight Island, and you don't want to make excuses, but I don't feel like I turned up at all, and I was still able to get the job done. And that just shows you what level. Even again, got to give credit where credit due. The way he showed up from his first fight to the second fight, mate, was incredible. But for me to be able to stick into it and bring that fight back, especially yeah. Oh, I didn't turn up that day, and I still got the job done, and that just shows you that there's levels to this, and that that I'm no joke. So I'm gonna turn up next fight, 100%, and I'm not gonna give him any rounds. Just like the first fight, I'm gonna start off strong, and I'm gonna finish even stronger. But again, Max is a great fighter. Hence why he's getting the third fight. He's going out and he's taking out other guys and earning that number one spot, because he deserves to be right up there as well. So again, you've got to give credit where credit's due. It's going to be a great fight, but again, I just think I'm going to be too much. And by then, I'm going to be a whole different beast. And Ortega, don't worry, I've got all my
yeah.
I'm focused on you. Don't you worry about that, mate. I'm coming to kick your ass, and then Max could be next. Or Max, or whoever takes that one in.
Well, I was going to say, you talked about going up to 55 at some point. I know, again, Ortega's in front of there, and then probably the winner of Holloway and Yair Rodriguez. But is that something you're still considering? Because I know that's something you've been talking about even last year.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Like again, it depends on the timing of everything. Right now, I wanted to, I need to fight in featherweight. I want to defend my damn belt. I want to get in there and defend my belt. Obviously, that was taken away from me last fight because of COVID, and I just want to get in there and compete. I want to stay a bit more active. It's been way too long in between fights. I don't like that. So obviously, I need to wait for the year and Max, see what happens there, and then see how quickly they want to turn it around. You go out there, you take the winner of that, take them out. Definitely, till they find number one contender. I would love to have a quick fight in lightweight, then come back to the featherweight as soon as we find out who that number one is. Because again, I want to stay active. I don't have so many years in this sport. I'm 32 years old. I definitely got a fair few more years. But the way the last year went, one fight a year, that's not enough. I want 2-3 fights a year. So I want to stay active. This end, if I fight, September, I'd love to fight in December or January. You know what I mean? And then mid next year as well. So I want to have 3 fights by mid next year if I can. And like I said, depending on who's next and whatnot. If no one's next, if we're waiting on someone, let's move up. Let's dance at lightweight. That'll be fun. But again, we'll just play it by ear. Go out there, do my business this September, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Before we go, I got to ask you about Conor McGregor. Obviously, he's been doing a lot of tweeting and deleting, and obviously the injury to with what happened in the Poirier fight. Just your thoughts on how he's sort of unraveling a little bit between the tweeting and everything else.
Yeah, man, it's just, I guess it's not that surprising. Some of the stuff that he says is still surprising. It's funny how after so many years he can still make you be like, whoa, where's he going with this? You know what I mean? But I guess, hey, people are just going to do what they want, stay in the headlines. And while you're injured, you can't do anything active to stay in the headlines. So you may as well get them Twitter hands going and whatnot. But whether he's still trying to build that fourth fight, you know what I mean, with Poirier. Again, obviously he's always thinking ahead, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a bit of both. Thinking ahead and then obviously, he's a bit hot-headed sometimes, that taken over at the same time. That's why he's tweeting and deleting and things like that. So it's hard to get a read on him, to be honest. It's hard to get a read on him because I think he's got away with so much that's why he tends to go over, push boundaries, because he knows that will get the headlines. And for some reason, people eventually accept that anyway. He's done some crazy things, and then people forget about it. And he's still pay-per-views. They're still through the roof. So when things like that are happening, maybe you do feel untouchable, invincible, and you feel like you can do whatever you want. And maybe that's what's happening. I don't know, but there is some crazy things that he says that still sort of blows me out. But at the same time, I guess you sort of can expect to happen as well, and expect to happen in the coming months as well.
Alex, thanks so much for the time. Looking forward to the fight, UFC 266. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here? Sponsors, social media? I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Instagram, obviously, Alex, and Twitter, Alex Volkanovski, at Alex Volkanovski, and then YouTube channel, Cooking with Volk. See the skills I've got, on the grill. Yeah, got the skills. Check it out. So, good fun. We're doing a lot of content at the moment, so I've been enjoying that. So stay tuned.
Make sure to subscribe to the Low Kick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.